Hello people of the internet, welcome back to a Sprinters blog, and today we're going to go through my BUCS journey in the past 3 years, 6 competitions, 17 races, 10 PBs. Let's do it. So we're first going to look into my first year of athletics in my university career, and we're going to look into my indoor seasons over the past 3 years. And let's just say in my first year, it was very much a reality check for me. I came to university thinking I knew everything. I knew nothing. I found the new training regimes, the new schedule and structure to life very difficult when I first started, as most people probably would. My overall focus for first year was to just get stronger. I realized with the new gym program that I was on and the help that I had around me, I just wasn't in the right spot to sprint how I wanted to. We had a few ups and downs with a few injuries here and there leading up to the indoor BUCS, but we get to it eventually. And so we get to my first ever BUCS competition, and I decided to do the 60 meters at this point. I felt that my start was my best part of the race from previous years, and with my first ever competition, I just didn't know what to expect. I came into the competition just wanting to have fun and just to see where I compared against the older athletes that have obviously gone to BUCS and experienced it beforehand. And just like that, we came third with a 7:06, a new PB in the 60 meters for me. I was really happy with it. My start was good and my drive was good, but I realized that my upright speed was not there. I was a little bit leaned forward, and that was my focus in the semi-finals, to get upright and really use my extension and my elasticity to obviously favor me and hopefully getting a faster time. And with that being said, I did have a better upright in the semi-finals, but my start wasn't as good. Either way though, we came away with a 7:05, a new PB. I'm very happy about that. I was still a little bit annoyed that I didn't execute the whole race perfectly, but at least I improved on the bit that I didn't do well in the heat before. We get to my final indoor race in my first year, and this was in the 4x2 relay. Now, I've never done this before. I've never ran in an indoor track before, let alone an indoor 200. So this was a big experience for me. I knew that we had a great team behind our back and we could really make the final and even medal in that case. This race was probably the best run I had all year. I ran a 21:7 in that 200 meters, and I just couldn't believe that I did that. I didn't think that I could have ran that fast. And I know it was a relay, but I still ran 21:7, and I got us that win with a good qualifying time into the final. However, we got disqualified. We got disqualified, and that was just a tough time, you know? We thought we did really, really well, and we did, but it sadly didn't count to anything further, and we knew that we had so much more to give. I'm just happy that I ran well for myself, and knowing for the future of things that maybe I should get more into the 200 meters indoors. Maybe that's more tailored to how I run and how well I can be in the future. Which brings us to second year of university indoor season. We are doing the 200 meters. At this point in time in second year, I've got used to the training. I know what to expect, and I was just literally doing. I was training, eating, sleeping, and that meant that I was getting gains faster and I was getting stronger and faster overall as well. Also mentioning that I had an injury that summer from outdoor season, so I was still coming back into being myself again and trying to find my stride. At this point in time, I was just ready. I knew that I was gonna PB. I knew that I was gonna run something really, really good for myself. However, things get in the way. I became ill over that weekend.
Can't lie, I'm a little ill.
I was just getting worse and worse and worse, and I just knew the inevitable would come. But that didn't stop me from racing. Even though I couldn't feel anything, even though I was literally just dying, I still ran my heart out, and it didn't go too badly. I'm pretty happy with the result of it, and I thought I had so much more energy to give. I thought I was gonna fly again off that home straight. That tick just hit me. It just hit me out of nowhere. I couldn't feel it creep up on me. I started to just slow down and start falling down the track. I couldn't pick up my knees. I was just like, bro, what is going on? But we came second in the end, ran a 22:16, so that's a new indoor PB for me in the 200 meters. And we ended the race on the floor. After that race, I then threw up in the bathroom probably like 3 or 4 times.
I sound so bad now. I'm so ill.
In any other circumstances, I would not have ran again, but it's BUCS. I don't get to do this very often, once a year for indoor season, so I had to make the most of it. With the time that I could produce, I might have been able to get into the final. But with me being ill and not having any fuel in my body and the lactics just hitting me so hard, I couldn't get any further. But hey, I finished the race, came second, and 22:29, not too bad. It's the most I probably could have asked for at this point in time, being that ill. So hey, is what it is. And now we get into my final indoor competition for BUCS, which is in my third year. Now, this one, I knew that I was just different. I was stronger, faster, just in the best condition to be in at this point of time. You know, third year, I've gotten used to the regime. I know what I'm doing. I'm finally pushing those numbers in the gym and especially on the track as well. And all of the performance indicators in my training sessions just showed me that I was ready to do something crazy. My heat I knew that it was going to be close, but I just wanted to make sure that I got that #1 spot because the lane draw counts in the indoor season. So I knew I had to just run my heart out and make sure that I stayed in front, and that's what I did. I executed the race really well. A little bit annoying because I did stumble in the first few steps out my blocks, but that didn't mean that I stopped, you know. I kept going. I made sure that I got in front, and I did, you know. I came down that home straight. I finally had the upright speed and the kick in again that I wish I had in my second year, and I had it, and I did it, and I ran a 21.99, which is a new indoor PB for me. I was so happy with that race. It was so fun as well just to be battling against someone toe to toe, and honestly that was probably one of my highlights in my whole BUCS career, to be fair. Coming into my semi-finals now, I knew that it was going to be a tough run, especially with the lineup that I was against, but I was hoping that I would be dragged along to either get a new PB and possibly a small qualifying spot for the final. Obviously this was my last chance to try it out and try and get into a final in BUCS, and so we went for it, you know. This race didn't really go to plan. I would say that I preserved too much in the first 100 meters. I was trying to leave it all to the end of the race so I could have a massive kick in and a fly down that home straight as I'm in lane 6. But coming off of that second bend, I was not used to how lane 6 feels, and it definitely made a difference in how I was running. So I kind of had a few steps where I was starting to fall down the ramp because I just didn't pick myself up. I was not expecting this feeling at all, but nonetheless I ran a 21.96, so that is a new PB indoors. I was a little disappointed with my race. It could have been faster, however I don't think it would have changed the outcome of me being in the final or not, so I couldn't really complain too much. You know, I still had a solid run, didn't execute it the way I wanted to, but we ended my indoor season for BUCS with good hopes for the outdoor season. The indoor season for BUCS is perfect because it pretty much happens at the end of that span of indoor season, so it means that you can kind of peak and try and get your fastest times before the outdoor season starts. However, with BUCS outdoors, it literally starts probably your first comp of the season, so I decided to do the 100 meters for the BUCS outdoors. But with this race, it just went to pieces. I did not execute anything properly. I think maybe the first 40 meters was my best part of the 100-meter race. However, when I got upright, I just felt so uncomfortable, not natural. I tried to run like myself, but I was just falling left, right, and center. Did not feel very stable at all, but we just continued through the line, and we ran 11:08, and that isn't too far from my PB, so I wasn't too annoyed at that run. I just wish I could have executed it a little bit better. Now, this is where my BUCS reputation continues to get unlucky. I've already spoke about me in my second year getting ill. This time around in my first year, we were meant to run the semi-finals at 5 p.m. that day of the heats, but it rained so badly they had to call it off and schedule it for 10 a.m. the next day. I was in the warm-up area for probably 3 hours because I was trying to stay warm, thinking that they were just going to wait for the rain and that I could run, and I felt so good, I felt so ready for this run, and it never happened. Then we get to next day for the semi-finals. I haven't eaten anything because I just couldn't, and I was not ready. I was asleep. I didn't really want to run this race, but we still did it anyway. I also forgot my race shorts, so I had to wear my leggings, my thermals, and whenever I wear those, I never do well. So yeah, we ran 11:02. It was just one of those things that I couldn't control, and I did not deal well with it at all. So hey, things happen. This time around for my second year outdoors, we were doing the 200 meters, 4x1 relay as well, and I kind of got thrown into the 4x4. But let's talk about the races first. Second year outdoor BUCS, I peaked. I peaked so hard on this day. We get to my first heat, and I knew it was going to be close, and I just need to make sure that I get top 2 to get that qualifier, and so I did. I felt really good from my start around the bends, and that is where I just put everything into the track in that home straight, and it came out well. You know, we ran my PB currently, which is 21.71. I was really happy with that race, and yeah, it meant that now we got into the semi-final, and I was excited to see what I could do. We then had the 4x1 heats after my 200 meters on that day. I was so excited for the 4x1 because I have not been a part of a relay since my first year indoor season, so I was excited to see what we could do. We were definitely in contention of doing something amazing. I think for me, the biggest highlight of my 3 years at BUCS, my 6 competitions, was this relay. This day was perfect, the conditions were perfect, I felt amazing after my 200. The vibes was great for the whole team, we were so excited, we were there to have fun, and we just executed. I decided to go on the second leg anchor because I thought that that was probably the most important of them all at this point of time, and the chemistry between me, leg 1 and leg 3, you know, it was just the best. And to be honest, this run was probably better than my 200 meters. I felt way faster, I felt way more comfortable. I just flew. You know, I was that fast that I flew into frame from lane 3, I think it was. From there, you know, it's history. We came first and we ran a 41.99 and I was just so happy. I literally did a victory lap all the way around and reconvened with the lads after, and we celebrated, and I'm so happy that the cameras were on at that point and they allowed us to celebrate and do what we wanted to do, because that memory, that whole feeling and vibe and everything was just perfect. Then we get into the last day and we get into the semi-finals in the 200 meters. And with that being said, we get off with a really good start and a really good drive. And when we get onto the straight though, I knew that it was a little bit windy and a little bit colder than the day before. So my upright speed didn't really feel too natural to there that day, but I just made sure that I worked as hard as I could and went for the line. And we didn't do too badly. We nearly got a new PB. If I had the conditions from the day before, I would have ran faster that time, because that was a faster race. I got dragged along being in lane 8 and we ran 21.76, so really close. If I had better conditions, might have been a 21.6, but hey, it is what it is. I was happy with the run and yeah, didn't do too badly overall. And then we also get into the 4x1 final. Can't lie, our team was a little bit more anxious because this is the final, you know, this means everything, but we ran better. Like, our handovers and changeovers was way better as well. Overall, we came 5th, which was okay. Like, I didn't mind it at all. I knew that I ran my heart out. I was really happy with our team. The same team that we had in the heats came through for the final, still executed it well, and still did the university proud. But for me, I couldn't stay and just enjoy the moment of the 4x1 because I got dragged into the 4x4 final. As soon as the 4x1 finished, I was jogging back into the call room to make sure I was there for the 4x4. So I didn't get any rest at all at this point in time. My goal really was to just sustain what we had. I was not the strongest 400 meter runner anyway. And hey, without me, look, I got a 7th, okay? I got in front of that person round the bend on the back straight, and my God, I was cooked. But hey, we still ran a really good 400 and I ran a 50.8. So technically that's another PB as well. And not to mention, obviously, with the 4x1 as well, we got the 41.9 and then the 41.7. So that's 2 PBs. We're just ticking them off at this point. And finally, 3rd year BUCS outdoors. This one marks obviously the end of my BUCS journey and the end of my whole university experience. If you've watched my previous BUCS video, you will know the outcome, but the weekend was not in my favor. 3rd year comes with a lot more responsibilities in doing your work and making sure you get those submissions. I was unlucky to have to hand in 2 of them the day before and the day of going up to BUCS, and that meant that I just had no energy. Previous week of training went so well. I was PBing in all the fast performance indicators and I was just so psyched. Sadly, it was not the end of the story that I hoped for. Obviously, with PBing the year before in the 200 outdoors, I was really hoping that that would happen again, and I was in the condition to. But the wind conditions were horrible. -2 wind and it being cold. What more can I do? And with that being said, I just thought to myself, I may as well just execute my race plan. I just got hit by the gusts of wind and I just felt so slow. There was no kick in. It was only a sustained version of what I did on the bend beforehand. And you know, it was enough to get me 2nd place. I ran a 22.5. What the hell? Like, but what can I do? You know, I'm into the semis. I'm hoping for a better day tomorrow. That sadly did not happen. The conditions were even worse from the day before, and when I got to the day of warming up for it as well, I was just locked out. I had no energy. I felt so tired and tight as well. Nothing was really moving for me. I thought to myself, look, all I've got to do is run a 21.9 and I can do that in my sleep. I don't care about the wind. I know what I can give, and even if it's a -2, I know I can run a 21.9. I really thought to myself I could do this. It just didn't happen. I got out of the blocks and my first 50 was good, and from there I was just tight and I wasn't running how I wanted to. The wind conditions were worse and it was colder, I know, but I just didn't run like myself and I didn't allow myself to go any faster. I wasn't in my stride length as usual and I was just tight as well. And I guess that's what the wind conditions do to you, but then again, I did not react well to the things that I couldn't control. After some consideration, I realized I can't end my BUCS journey on this bad race and bad negative emotions that I have with it. I'm going to do the 4x4 final again. And we ended my BUCS journey on a better run, solidifying my full stop. What have I learned from BUCS? Nothing has to be perfect. I really wanted my last BUCS to be my perfect ending, and it was my worst competition in the last 3 years. And out of the 6 competitions I've been in at BUCS. Things happen that we cannot change, and the thing that I've taken away from this is about how you react. I knew with my last 200 meters, it didn't go well. I couldn't just leave it on that. I made sure that I came back through and did the 4x4. I did what I had to do, and we came away with a better race. Looking back on my whole journey, it was really, really fun. I enjoyed being with my teammates and just interacting and having fun outside of the tournaments as well. I'm also happy because I feel like I started the movement for Bath University to get people to go out of their way and take pictures and make it even more memorable as it was before. I remember in my first year, I didn't get any pictures other than the person that took them for us on our trip, and that meant the world to me. So I thought I'd give back in my last 4 competitions and just take pictures of my own so people can remember this experience. And finally, thank you to everyone at Bath University. Like, these competitions would not be worth without you guys around me. The support and just having fun as well is something that I just love in athletics. It's such a real sport, and you guys have really made the experience something worthwhile. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video, and if you have enjoyed them, please do hit the like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. This has been my BUCS journey, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.